introduce you to a friend of ours named John. There we go, beautiful. John's a hard worker and will do anything to help anyone. It's no doubt we live in a beautiful country, and in this beautiful country there are over 24.5 million people amongst us. And did you know that of these 24.5 million people, more than 105,000 of them are homeless? Now think about all the people that you know, be it in person or via social media. If you know at least 200 people, then also know that 1 in every 200 people find themselves homeless on any given night in Australia. Now that is massive. Homelessness is real and none of us can afford to ignore it. A recent study has shown that it is significantly cheaper to provide last resort housing than to have people continuing to sleep on the streets. Orange Sky Laundry is a mobile laundry. Literally, it's a van with 2 washing machines and 2 dryers in the back. We currently have 14 of these mobile laundries around Australia, and we service over 140 locations with almost 900 volunteers on board. We wash and dry clothes for our homeless friends and for those that can't afford to get their washing done. We've also got 3 mobile shower vans, but I'll leave that for next year's pitch. Orange Sky Laundry started almost 3 years ago by 2 best mates, Nicholas Marchesi and Lucas Patchett, who are also in the audience tonight. So if you want to know about pressure, try being on this end. The boys identified a severe disconnection between our homeless friends and our society. Now, many of our friends in the Hunter and Central Coast regions have qualifications just like you and I. But without an address or clean clothes or something as simple as a nice hot shower, it is almost impossible for them to regain employment, but more so reconnect them back to the community is just a pipe dream. We've only been given 6 minutes tonight, but we have well over 120,000 hours of stories that we've heard from our friends, and John's story is one of these. John is 42 years old. A good 6 years ago, John was made redundant from his job. His wife was pregnant and decided to go back home to Japan, and John stayed back to source other work. John is from New Zealand, so for him that meant that he was unable to access Centrelink benefits for at least another 10 years. So with little money, no family, and no friends, John resorted to sleeping in bushland in Canberra. He was cold, he was hungry, and he was well and truly over it. So much so that he was ready to turn to crime. Unfortunately, turning to crime out of desperation is also the reality for many of our friends in this region. Whilst roaming the streets of Canberra one Saturday afternoon, John stumbled upon a big orange van. What little clothes he had was placed in a basket to be washed. Now, John didn't know how we'd react to him. He hadn't had a shower for about 2 weeks. But our volunteers listened to him, invited him to sit on one of our famous 6 orange chairs, and gave him a pamphlet on all the services in the area, places he could access food, clothes, and even credit for his phone. This simple act, John said, changed his entire life. He didn't turn to crime. He accessed these services and managed to get odd jobs to keep him going up. And after some time, he managed to get himself to Brisbane. John was a man on a mission. He was determined to get his wife and baby boy to Australia, but couldn't under these circumstances. He had no job, no money, and no place to call home. A friend of his on the streets in Brisbane asked him to help with some work, some washing and drying of clothes. So when John rocked up and saw Orange Sky, he thought that somehow fate had given him a hand. He began volunteering with us in Brisbane, and because of his amazing work ethic and his keenness to do anything, Orange Sky gave him regular paid work. And I'm happy to say that John now works for Orange Sky 5 days a week. He managed to save enough money to bring his wife and now 5-year-old little boy to Brisbane for a holiday. I know we can make a difference in our friends' lives in the Hunter and Central Coast regions. And I know that with funding, we can open doors to training and employing our friends to help them restore their confidence and knowledge and get them back into the workforce, just like we did with John. Your funding tonight will go towards training and employing our friends to do commercial washing for local football clubs or other organisations. We will also be looking at getting commercial contracts so that we can grow and train and employ friends all over the Hunter and Central Coast regions. This will not only help our friends regain their confidence, restore their respect, but it will also help them to restore their dignity. We want to help them reconnect with the community. And we have done it. We know we can do it, and we'll continue to do it with the help of amazing people like yourself. We all deserve a second chance, and I ask you to take a minute just to think that this could be somebody that you know. Thank you. Still got 3 minutes to go.